What's up, everybody? This is the Information Man Show. Let's get into it right now. I don't want to make this a super long stream, but I want to get right to it right now. You all have heard about the Target boycott. There's been talk about this, that black people should not shop at Target due to the DEI initiatives that were taken away. A lot of black women, a lot of black folks lost jobs, particularly black women. A lot of black women who had products in Target specifically had their products taken out, or either their products were marginalized in the store. This is a movement that was started by black women. It was not started by men, or at least what we know as Pastor Jamal Bryant or Dr. Jamal Bryant, who has somehow swooped in, and he's been still in the press lately. So I'm here to set the record straight. You've heard what has been going on. This has been buzzing on the social media streets. I have some clips. I have some videos to present to you because something we need to know about Pastor Jamal Bryant. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm sick of pastors. They have not been leading us in the right stray, and so. Black people today, the question is, do we really need the traditional black leader that we had in the past? Some one person to lead us, some one person for us to rally around, some person who's sort of like a Messiah complex. And that's been a problem with some black people, that we're looking for someone to lead us to some promised land that we can lead ourselves to ourselves. When you look in the mirror every day, you are the leader that you're looking for. It's you. And it was black women who got this thing started. But Jamal Bryant is the one who commandeered this situation because of his church. He took over Eddie Long's church. And this is a man who has poor character. As you know, this is a man who has messed around with female members of his church. This is a man that you're looking at on the screen here, who was told to get the hell out of Baltimore, Maryland. I want to say that correct. Baltimore, Maryland. He was told to get the hell out of there by an activist, I think Brother Boom Boom, who told him to get out, that he wasn't wanted on the streets of Baltimore anymore because they see how he is. This young lady right here, Mrs. Armstrong, Nekima Armstrong, is an activist herself. You may or may not recognize her. She was involved in the situation in Minneapolis, at the church when Don Lemon went into the church. Don Lemon got arrested eventually by the feds. She got arrested, and then under Donald Trump's administration, they tried to make her picture look like she was crying when it was not her crying. Let me just give you a little reminder of what I'm talking about with this sister right here. Here we go.
Serves as a pastor right here at City's Church. So if you Google City's Church, you will see David Easterwood's name there. If you Google him, you will also see him at a press conference that was held by C-SPAN, standing next to Kristi Noem. And also the lawsuit that was filed by the ACLU in December on behalf of 6 Minnesota residents that just went in front of Judge Melendez, and where she put an injunction.
Now, this is a woman, after listening to her speak on the Roland Martin show, she says, hey, in Minnesota, we were already starting the but the Target. Because remember, we had to boycott Starbucks at one point in time, too, based on what they did to 2 black men. Remember that incident where there were 2 black men that were in there meeting for business and were told to leave because they didn't order a drink or something of that sort? Well, that's another issue that happened some long time ago. But now we got the Target situation right here. And black women, from what I understand economically, spend more money in Target than a little bit. And there are black women, as I said before, who have products in there. But the reason why Miss Armstrong feels the way she feels is because Target, if you did not know, it's headquartered in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's where it comes from originally. And so she said that the protest against Target was started at the grassroots level. Not this stuff that Jamal Bryant is doing with his church and talking about he was having a fast and all of that nonsense. He came out, he jumped out the window without consulting this sister right here and many others like her who had been a part of this protest, who said that, hey, we're still boycott. We're still doing a boycott against Target. It's not over. And you even have black women out here that are saying they're not going back to Target because until they do what? Put back on the table what they originally had on the table before. And so this sister right here is standing 10 toes down. Say what you will about her. If you don't like her, you don't like her style. This is a woman that's not talking about it, but actually being about it on the ground. Now, that video I showed you where she was with Don Lemon, this video right here again.
Against ICE for them being able to retaliate against peaceful protesters. His name is in those court documents, again, as the director of the field office for ICE in St. Paul. That is unacceptable. How can you be a pastor of a church, but overseeing ICE agents in the field? We know.
Now, before you jump out the window and say, well, you know, I support ICE because they're getting illegals out of here. Remember, I did a video and y'all slept on that video. And the pastor of that church that she was talking about, who was directing the ICE in Minneapolis, Minnesota, remember there was a baby. There was a black family that was just trying to get home that night. That's one of the reasons why they also went into that church, or she went into that church and she protested, because a black family with children, a particular black baby, was impacted by the tear gas and all the things that ICE did that night. And they weren't even trying to protest. They were trying to get home, and they got mistreated by the ICE agents that David Easton, that they were protesting, who was also a pastor in that church in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the city church it was called, that he was responsible for what happened to black babies. That's why she went up in that church, because there were other circumstances that motivated the sister to go in there and do the protest or do the demonstration. So I just want to lay that out. If you go back and look at that video I did about Don Lemon going into that church, and I showed a very good clip in there about a black baby that was impacted by these ICE individuals. So I don't want to hear nobody telling me, well, you know, she's standing up for the. I'm talking about the black babies that were impacted by the pastor of that church, who's part of ICE, that she was protesting. I just want to keep that in mind to lay out the fact that she's got boots on the ground. Jamal Bryant doesn't have boots on the ground. He's simply trying to steal the headlines. We've got every pastor, all these Negroes that are trying to be the next Dr. King. Come on now, tell me I'm not lying. Speak to me in the chat room. We've got Negroes out here like Jamal Bryant, trying to be the next Jesse Jackson, trying to be the next Dr. King, trying to be the next Malcolm X. All these Negroes today are trying to be the next something. So they'll jump on to anything. And then he comes out with his apology, talking about, well, you know, I didn't mean to blah, 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 blah. I didn't mean to do this and do that. I didn't mean any of this stuff. He got caught up because he was doing too much, didn't even consult this sister right here who said she doesn't want nothing to do with Jamal Bryant. There's a reason why people may ask, well, why can't they work together? She doesn't want to work with Jamal Bryant or Nekima Armstrong, right? Remember this sister right here from the protest in St. Louis? I think her name is Nekima Armstrong. I don't really care for her either. We got people who acting like they're leaders of the black community and they're not leaders. We got Nina Turner. I kind of like Nina Turner for about a minute until I've learned more things about her. These are people who jumped out the window. Nina Turner showed up in Washington, D.C. with Jamal Bryant. And they made this announcement that it was over. But then, of course, Nina Turner turned around and said, well, I will not be shopping. Well, if you would not be shopping there no more, or your family, how could you get behind Jamal Bryant in his nonsense? And this is the same Jamal Bryant, ladies and gentlemen, and I hate to do this, who took a lot of criticism because his wife showed up to an event like this. I want y'all just to look at that. Everybody can have their opinions. People were saying that people were overreacting because it was a flesh tone dress that his wife had on. People still feel like if she's a wife of a preacher, she's got to be more conservative in her attire when they're out there on a night on the town. Look. I'm not trying to be the dress police, but remember, this is one of the things he got caught up in. Remember his ex-wife from the housewives of, what is that? The medical housewives of out there in Maryland somewhere. This man's got a gang of kids. This is a man who has messed around with women in his own church. This is a man who has not shown to have very good character over the years. This is a man that's always looking to prop himself up. This is another one of these mega church pastors that will tell you, I need some more and some more and some more money. Give me some more. Remember this fool right here, Marvin Waynes. Remember this man right here?
Plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do. Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do. Y'all not listening.
Y'all not listening. You see, Jamal Bryant is cut from that same cloth. I'm going to present to you, when I complete this video today, I'm going to be doing another uploaded video, maybe the next day after, because there's another preacher out there that's telling his congregation, I need to see y'all tax returns. I need y'all to show me y'all tax returns because I don't think you giving me the true money we need for the tithing of the church. This is a problem. Gone are the days of the Dr. Kings. Gone are the days of the Nat Turners who, what did he do? He stood up, had a slave rebellion against the masters. The people who taught him or tried to give him a Bible, an edited Bible, to make him think that black people, or to make black people think that it was meant for them to be slaves. And he rebelled. That's the only real black preacher to me, is a Nat Turner. He wasn't turning the other cheek. He wasn't trying to get along and dance along. He said, you know what? Our people are being deleted by these folks. We're going to stand up and have rebellion. And of course, we know Dr. King, near the end of his life, became frustrated because he knew he put us into a burning building. He knew that things weren't right. And then what did he do? Dr. King decided to have a boycott against the corporations, and therefore he had to go because he was changing public policy. And although we living today can look back and say, hey, I'm horrified by the dogs that were put on our people, and how could they do nonviolence when we were being harmed? I understand that sentiment. But we don't have any transparent and real leaders like this today. We've got the Congressional Black Caucus that's done nothing for us. And then we've got Negroes like Jamal Bryant, who's always seeking how he can put himself on a ladder as a de facto leader. And he ain't no de facto leader of mine. Ask yourself, how many black people in America have appointed these type of Negroes to be leaders of our community? Did we ask for a Nina Turner? She talks a good game sometimes, but then she runs around with Bernie Sanders and Jill Stein. Both of those individuals are despicable. Did we ask for a Tamika Mowry? Did we ask for her to be our leader? Remember, she was in the what was it, Chrysler commercial? All these folks getting a come up on something that happened to black men. Think about it. All this Black Lives Matter stuff came out of this. All these people who got a grift off of what was happening to black men, black people as it related to police. We got all these people coming out of the woodworks claiming to be leaders. Now, I'm not saying that Miss Armstrong is the leader of all black people. But what I can say is that if you do some background on this young woman here, she is certainly an activist in Minneapolis, Minnesota. She was one of the ones that was out there during the George Floyd circumstance. That's why they've been protesting these companies in Minneapolis way before Jamal Bryant jumped his behind into the frying pan. Let you see exactly what he did here. This was the griot. Dr. Jamal Bryant announced the end of his nationwide Target boycott, which was not his boycott to end, or was it his boycott in the first place? But others are pressing on with theirs. The year-long boycott saw Target sales drop massively because black people, we do have buying power. Don't let nobody tell you that we don't have buying power when we do. Because this shows you that if we, there's a brother on YouTube who has a program. I'm going to use something that he always says. And he talks about like movies and Marvel movies and stuff like that, comic book type stuff. And he always says, until we get the Batman or the Justice League, shout out to him if he's listening to me. Until we get the Justice League or the Superman version that we want, we're going to keep our wallets closed. Keep your wallets closed. Black people, when we keep our wallets closed, we can bring this country down economically because we're one of the biggest consumers, unfortunately, because I wish we had more ownership in this country. See, the reason why in the first place we have to boycott, if you really think about it, and it's kind of a shame, a place like Target, is because we don't have enough black-owned corporate big businesses. We don't have shit. Today, I put a post on my YouTube channel, y'all, about BET, which has been nothing for a very long time. And BET is going under a ownership of another white guy, a Silicon Valley guy. Read all about that in my post. And BET has never been the same any damn way for a long time. There's nothing relevant on there that benefits us, doesn't help us. It's just a bunch of bumbling entertainment nonsense. But what I'm saying is we wouldn't be in this position in the first place with Target if black people truly had businesses or come together. Those who have the money and the backing to come together to make why don't we have our own black Target? And then we wouldn't have to worry about our women having their products taken out of the store. We wouldn't have to worry about our women and our men and our children needing some program like DEI, which, by the way, DEI only benefits 4% of black people. White women are the ones that benefit from DEI. But we wouldn't need to be dependent on these department stores or these outlets or these Targets and these Walmarts or any of this stuff for our products if we truly had our own. And we wouldn't need a chicken foot, chitlins eating, pigskin eating preacher like Jamal Bryant acting as if he's the de facto leader for black people, talking about it's now ended. He's ended the boycott nationwide. Over a year as black customers stayed away from the retail giant. We don't need Jamal Bryant or anybody telling us, one, when we should stop a boycott, when we should shop, when we shouldn't shop. He's not the leader of black folks. We think for ourselves. We're not all a monolith. We all think for ourselves. We all have different views. But I don't appreciate this because it's true. It was black women that got this thing off the ground, no matter what you think of the protest, whether you were for it or against it. It was black women who got it off the ground. And then this Negro comes in and tries to steal the credit from what these women are doing, like Mrs. Armstrong. Let me play this for you because I thought this was kind of funny what this sister had to say right here. Check this out. I got, pick up the humor in it, but it's serious.
Child, I can barely speak again, but y'all know when I saw this and I left, when I saw this, this is definitely something I deem as news. With all due respect, Pastor Bryant, you did not start the Target boycott. Black women did. Therefore, you cannot end it. Don't you hate it when a man comes in after black women have done all the heavy lifting and acts like they spearheaded some shit and they did it, and then therefore they can say, you know, okay, they've paid these organizations. Mine allegedly is one of them too. And so that's enough. So that's enough. Whatever these three out of four things you got that you decided were enough for people to go back and shop at Target, you're not a black woman, sir. You're not. We're the ones that made Target what Target is.
Target, that's right.
Name. We made it a safe space for people on Saturdays to walk around and browse and spend money that you should.
Facts. Now a little bit of humor in what she had to say, but it was facts. But let's take a more serious view right here with this sister right here. Let's go.
My biggest problem with Jamal Bryant is that he centers himself in everything.
Facts.
I thought Jamal Bryant started the Target boycott. I thought he did it with Nina Turner and Tamika Mallory. It was that the women came together, they brought him on to bring the church and, you know, to make it more widespread and national and to have a bigger movement. He does this video where he claims that Target has met their 3 out of the 4 demands and he declares it over. How do you declare something over? You make yourself the face of it. You declare it over and you didn't start it. And
Facts.
The headlines are extremely confusing. You have people asking the very question that you started this off with. Are we boycotting it? Are we not? You have Nina Turner and Tamika Mallory saying, no, they have not met the demand and they're still boycotting it, while Jamal Bryant standing in front of a Target sign is telling you it's over. You didn't start it. It started in Minneapolis.
Facts.
You said you're removing yourself from it and it's over for you. But now that you've come out and you've held this press conference and now these headlines, it's causing harm to what the original people who started it a month before you got involved, a black woman, you're taking away from the work that they're doing and they're not saying it's over. And the further you research into it, they have not met the demands. They have not apologized publicly. This new CEO has not committed to bringing back the DEI initiatives and programs that existed before. They've merely renamed it with something else and said they'll look into the research of it. All they've done is committed to paying out the money that they already promised they would do prior to this boycott even starting. So what is Jamal Bryant talking about other than trying to establish himself as the beginning and the end of this boycott? I'm not saying that he did not bring this to a bigger audience and gather and corral people to boycott Target. I'm not saying that that wasn't good and that he was not beneficial to that. The problem is he's taking credit for something that he didn't start and he's ending it when Target has not answered the call from the boycott.
Facts. Facts over facts over facts. Target did not meet all demands, but for some reason, Jamal Bryant wants to act like he's the overlord for Black America. The one thing you don't do is get black women upset. The one thing you don't do is step over black women who were the ones who started this and think that you're just going to walk away and everything's going to be okay. They're going to remind you of what the real truth is. But this speaks again to the character of the man who has had character flaws ever since he's come into our lexicon. I'm going to say again, Brother Boom Boom from Baltimore, Maryland. Let me say that right. Who was an activist. If you've seen that video from some time back, Brother Boom Boom told him to get the you know what out of Baltimore because nobody wanted him there. Nobody cared about him. That he needed to go on about his business because they knew just how phony he was. Let me play you another video.
Let's be clear. Pastor Bryant was doing a fast, and he had a time limit on his fast. It was supposed to be for 40 days. Over here, we're doing a boycott. This boycott may last for the rest of my life because until and unless Target actually reverses its DEI policies, invests in our communities, and meets all the demands of the boycott, I would never step foot in Target again. This boycott was working. Why would we end it now? Target has lost over $12 billion in market value. And when we haven't received what we wanted, what Pastor Bryant is suggesting would be akin to us saying with the Montgomery boycotts, they said y'all can sit in the middle of the bus, so let's just give up. This is not a time for capitulation in any way. Target drew its line. I've drawn my line. And I will not be stepping foot in Target.
She said they've lost, what was it, $12 billion because of black people keeping our wallets closed. When we come together and we keep our wallets closed and we do not spend money with those that don't respect us, we can cause a problem. I just did that video on Mr. Let me say the name right because people were saying you got to say it right. Mr. Tenderism. I was saying tenderism, but it's tenderism. Remember how black people rallied behind him. Now he's blowing up all over social media like wildflower. And the Destination Smokehouse is losing money. And I'm going to come out with a video, y'all, about how evil the guy Nick and his wife is. There's a sister that I found a video of who went there to the smokehouse, and she said that his wife treated her very nasty just because she gave the man a hug and a handshake. Oh, wait until I drop that video for you. But we showed that when we decide to put our money where our mouth is and rally behind our own people, we can make a lot of shit happen. So this boycott, when you think about it, whether you participated in it or not, was successful because Target lost billions of dollars. They're not making their margins because black people, black women in particular, put Target on the map. Anything that black people do, we blow up the spot. Anything we get ourselves involved in, we transform it. Let me let you hear another, because we're going to listen to Jamal Bryant's apology or his damage control and all of that. But again, these individuals, Nina Turner, the Mallories and all these other people, we got so many black people in our lexicon today that are all vying to be the leader. Everybody's doing every damn thing, but not a damn thing. Let's get to the next video I want to show y'all. Now, you may recognize this sister right here. Remember, she lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota, like Mrs. Armstrong, okay? And she's a reporter. She's the one that was in her house. And you had the ICE agents peeking all up in her house, knocking at her door. And she said, well, where's the warrant? Let me see the warrant. Because she was also in that church that I all told you about, a church with a pastor who worked for ICE, who was responsible for a black family and their children being peppered in the whole nine yard. Infant baby. And I played that video. Well, here she is because she's from Minneapolis giving her take on what's going on. Check this out.
So confused. The national Target boycott did not end. So why are all these outlets saying that it did? Let's back up a little bit. A quick Google search will show you two different things started last year. A 40-day Target fast started on March 5th, which was Ash Wednesday. It galvanized the clergy and church community to boycott Target. The National Target Boycott started a month earlier on February 1st and has continued without interruption. So the leader of the 40-day fast that ended last April said he's now ending the boycott too.
We have not been able to get all that we have desired, but I am grateful for the strides that we have made.
But the three founders in Minnesota, where Target is headquartered and where the National Target Boycott started, say they're still holding the line.
Don't be fooled. The Target boycott continues. It continues because the demands have yet to be met, and it continues because we are winning.
So the National Target Boycott started on February 1st in Minneapolis by Nekima, Jaylani, and Monique. Then a month later, the 40-day Target fast started on March 5th by Pastor Jamal, who is the one now calling for the end of the boycott. But the question remains, how can you end something you admitted you didn't start?
That's
Y'all
right.
not gonna like this.
Check this out,
There's
everybody.
Things that make you go, And Nekima Armstrong, for historical record, is the one who started the Target boycott.
Okay.
She called for accountability for this Fortune 500 company in the city that Target is located in.
Now, everybody, here's the thing. He actually did say this on the Jamal Bryant podcast, as you're hearing it right there. But the question is, then why didn't he consult her before he got up there and said what he said and created confusion? And of course, the media also added to the confusion as well. But we're learning now, or I'm learning, that Nekima Armstrong really doesn't want anything to do with Pastor Jamal Bryant or even Nina Turner and Tamika. She doesn't want anything to do with any of them because she said that they're not welcome in Minneapolis, Minnesota, because she sees them as false leadership, as people just grifting and looking to make a name for themselves. Let's continue, shall we?
The same company that is harboring ICE agents, who is using their parking lots for them to set up.
And thank
the
you.
Same organization that pledged $2 billion and still have not turned over the receipts. The same company who the day after the inauguration of President Donald John Trump withdrew its position on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And she's the first one they get arrested. Super bad system.
I want to thank Just Ash Shar for her super chat today. Also, the experience gave me, let me see if I can pull this up, because I got a super chat from the crew. The Crawford experience gave me another super chat, but had given me a super chat before I went live of a $5 super chat, which I appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
Let's get back to this. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats. I really appreciate that. But let me get to this part right here where Jamal Bryant is now doing his damage control. Watch.
It was my intention then, as it is now, to walk alongside them, but to never walk in front of them. Let the record reflect and show that it was Black women that started this movement.
Okay.
It was Black women who were at the helm.
That's fair.
And it's been my privilege to stand alongside them.
Okay, that's
some of the murky confusion that has taken place.
No.
We have interchangeably used the Target fast with the Target boycott.
Right, but Jamal Bryant, Pastor, you also were the contributor of this confusion when you got up there on that press conference and said that everything was over. You actually contribute, unfortunately, to this narrative that you're now doing damage control for.
Two different things, two different entities, but it is a train.
Thank you, everybody, for being here.
To the same way.
Thank you.
Our intention was just to go 40 days And so when I made the declaration
Mm-hmm.
that the Target fast was over,
Mm-hmm.
it was mixed mingled with the Target boycott at large.
Okay.
I should have lent greater clarity to that.
Yes.
The 40
Pastor.
days.
40 days and 40 nights.
365.
Right.
What
right,
took
Pastor.
place in those 4 asks,
Pastor.
it is not mine to champion the accomplishments or the achievements, but I bequeath it over to Target, who ought to, in fact, share what has happened because of your fasting and because of your withholding of dollars and how it has impacted Black colleges, where they are with DEI.
Let me let you all know something. If you all had a chance to see this, when Jamal Bryant did a press conference prior to him giving this apology tour he's doing here, one of the things that people, particularly in Minnesota, where this whole thing started with Nekima Armstrong, is that she said that all the demands that they were asking for have not been met. Meaning a Target has not given any tangibles. According to Ms. Armstrong, she wants them to go back to their original agreement that they had with the money that they had what was it? What do you call that? The original money that they were going to sponsor to Black business, particularly Black business women who had products in their store. They want everything to go back to what the original agreement that Target had in the first place that they reneged on because everybody is scared of Donald Trump. Everybody's capitulating to our PDF president. I said it. And they did the capitulation. But then again, like I said earlier in this podcast, we wouldn't be in this mess if Black people collectively had our own Black Targets, if we had our own super stores that we could go to and get our products, then we wouldn't even have to deal with no Target. And it makes me wonder why is it that ask yourself this question. These mega church preachers are collecting money hand over foot every Sunday. Why can't these Black preachers, male or female, in these mega churches with all the money they take in, why can't they all come together collectively and build a chain store that can be across the whole country? Why don't they bring their resources together to build Black businesses that can be franchised all over the country? They can certainly ask Black people for tithing, like, hey, I want to see your tax returns, or I told you I want 1,000 plus 1,000.
If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Well, I'm gonna work on the other end.
Tell the truth.
That ain't what I asked you to do. Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do. Y'all not listening to what I'm saying.
I'm emphasizing that because this is the kind of preachers we got today. As Jamal Bryant is trying to do his damage control and say that he's not walking in, he's walking besides the women. He's not trying to walk in front of the women. Yet the very people he's talking about, they don't like him. Nekima Armstrong don't like him. The folks in Minneapolis are protesting, are saying that he doesn't have the right to make any statement like this. And don't worry, because I've got the interview with her and Roland Martin, and she went in. And Roland Martin, I got to keep it real. He's cool with people like Jamal Bryant. He's cool with the Nina Turners and the Tamika Mowry. I know he had her on the show and she tried to do damage control as well. She did damage control, about her role in this whole situation. She tried to clean it up a little bit, but we ain't always buying it. We ain't always buying it. Are you buying it, ladies and gentlemen? Put sevens in the chat room if you're not buying it. And as she was talking to Roland Martin, you could tell Roland Martin was trying to he was trying to push a certain perspective, but she went in and said what needed to be said. Because Jamal Bryant has certainly been on his show. These are people that are certain, what do we call it? You have a certain inner circle of black people in this country who are part of the black elite. And they sort of are in an echo chamber amongst themselves, and they speak and talk as if they speak for black people on the ground level. And this sister right here told Roland in his face on his show, Roland, you a media personality, brother. I'm an activist on the ground. I'm going to play that for you. Do y'all hear what I'm saying and where I'm coming from here? Put sevens in the chat room if you're hearing where I'm coming from. Now, let me go and play some more of Pastor Bryant, Jamal Bryant's diatribe.
And quite frankly, where they stand with George Floyd. I'll yield to Target to talk about those milestones and those accomplishments.
Yield to Target?
And I yield it to them because I don't work for them.
Okay.
I am not an employee of Target.
Right.
I have not been compensated by Target.
Oh,
none of my colleagues or comrades have received a dime.
Stop it right there. You see, folks, a lot of people, as quiet as it's kept, believe that, I'm going to get to that in a moment. Sister's talking there. There's a lot of people that believe, as quiet as it's kept, that Jamal Bryant did what he did because they put some money in his pocket. And there's one thing that these chicken foot, pig skin eating, chitlin eating preachers do like is some money. They like that money in the collection plate. They like that extra money so they can have a plane that they can fly across the country. Cleflo Dollar. Oh, money talks and bullshit walks with preachers. That money will talk. So there's some that believe maybe he did what he did and he had a slip because they put some money in his pocket, greased his palms, or something that his church is going to get out of this for him getting up there saying that it was all over. But now he says, no. It's not what y'all think, y'all. As a pastor, I'm a man of dignity. I'm a man of character. Let's go.
From Target. The church that I pastor has not received anything. No
Okay.
501c3.
We don't know
friends
that.
of mine
We don't
have
know that.
received anything from Target.
Whenever
it is that we met, we purchased our own plane tickets.
Okay, your
Purchased
plane
our
tickets.
own hotels.
Right on,
and
brother.
never once were we ever even fed.
Woo, you hear it, Jamal Bryant. Pastor Jamal Bryant said, we paid for our own plane tickets. Boom. We were never fed by our master. He said we purchased our own plane tickets. We were never even fed by Target. Okay. All right, brother. All right. You weren't fed. You weren't given tickets to fly out there. Okay.
We are grateful that we can stand before you with clean hands.
Clean
and
hands.
a pure
Okay.
heart.
Woo! See, this is all preachers talk. Now, wait a minute, everybody. Come on. Let's slap. Come on. Let's understand me. This is preacher talk. We got clean hands and we have an open heart. Woo! It's making me choke, y'all. Woo! Pastor Jamal Bryant, you're pulling at my heartstrings. You're pulling at my heartstrings with that. We've got clean hands. Oh, we've got an open heart. Oh, Pastor Jamal Bryant. Oh, God. Woo, brother, you're as pure as the given snow. All right, let's continue. Let's continue with Pastor Jamal Bryant.
To say in the words of Hosea Williams,
Woo.
that we're unbought and we're unbossed.
Now, Hosea Williams was a great man coming out of Georgia and a great activist. And as Jamal is telling you we're unbrought and unfazed. Now, remember, Jamal Bryant was in Baltimore. He used to pastor a church in Baltimore, Maryland. And as I told you, he got ran out of Baltimore. People wasn't playing. That's why you think he down there in Atlanta taking over Eddie Long. Was it Eddie Long's church he took over? Let me know in the chat room. Did he take over? If I'm not mistaken, he took over Eddie Long's church. Eddie Long that was messing with the men and the boys in the church. There's a reason why Jamal Bryant is in Atlanta, because he knew his name was mud in Baltimore, Maryland. Y'all tell me something. Is he preaching at the church that Eddie Long was preaching at? Let me know something. Let's continue.
I am grieved that because of the pain and the trauma and the triggers of leadership of
eyes of the watcher.
It was an immediate presumption that we have been bought off, or that I have been bought off.
Okay.
And I wanted to tell you, as God is my witness, I have not.
Okay. So he's using religious theology. He's using the victim mentality. So he's making himself out to be a victim here now by saying my hands are clean. I tell you, by all means, he's using religious ideology because he knows that black people are some of the most spiritual and religious people on this here God's green earth. So when he says all those things, he's trying to pull at your heartstrings and your sympathy. Now, I'm not saying that Jamal Bryant actually did get a buyout. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised given the fact that these preachers today are as shady as can be. And Jamal Bryant does not have a squeaky clean background, particularly when it comes to him messing around with women in his church in Baltimore, Maryland. Ow! I'm just telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
Let's continue.
And I would not. I am grateful to be free, to know that what it is that I do is because a charge I have, and a God to glorify.
See, there we go. That's that. He might as well be doing a sermon. I have a God to glorify, and I know I am free like an eagle bird. This is all to play on these preachers, man. They something else. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, you got a lot of black men who are becoming preachers. We don't need no more preachers. We got enough preachers. We need businesses so that we don't have to depend on something like Target. We need black people who have the means and the money and the finances and the know-how to put a project together. I'm going to say it again. Why can't these mega churches pull their billions of dollars of resources that black people give them every year in tithing and other things and come up with their own black shopping store that they can mass produce all around the country, and all the churches would get a profit from it? So, because you see, I'm going to keep it right. I hate to say this. You see white mega churches doing this sort of stuff. Who the hell you think owns Walmart? Woo! Sam's Club. When you look at these stores like Walmart, Sam's Club, and all these businesses, and you do research, you find out that they're owned by the Christian right. You find out that, look at Chick-fil-A, that's controlled and operated by the Mormon church. Do y'all get what I'm saying? You got other religious people, other groups that are coming together and open up businesses. So you telling me that these mega black churches are taking thousands of dollars and they're getting tax-free revenue? Couldn't come together collectively and say, we're going to make our own Target stores. We're going to beat our competitors. We're going to make sure we stock that store with all sort of products that black people are producing that we can't get in the others and get in these other stores. Why are they not doing that? Where's our black Target, Pastor Jamal Bryant? Why are we in the 21st century still depending on white-owned companies to provide us opportunity? when we know that DEI don't even benefit black women in the way it benefits white women. That's a fact.
In this year, I would be derelict and irresponsible if I did not take a moment to thank the Chamber of
Commerce.
Black Commerce.
Yeah, Black Commerce, yeah.
Led by their fearless director, Ron Busby.
Ron Busby, yeah. Fearless director, that's right. Thank you. And no thanks to the Congressional Black Caucus that's done nothing for us. But they're taking a lot of AIPAC money. Cory Booker, Hakeem Jefferson, they're taking a lot of AIPAC money. These politicians are taking, these preachers, they're taking a whole bunch of money, and we still sitting up here talking about Target is not giving us DEI program. Target is not selling our products no more. Target is reneged on the programs that they promised us. Yet we got black politicians as part of the Congressional Black Caucus that's taking millions of dollars from AIPAC. Millions of dollars. And we sitting up here in the 21st century, got to protest Target. And that's why you got some black people that's saying, hey, I'm not going back to Target. I'm taking my money elsewhere. Goodbye. Let me play this one for you too. Check this out.
Can't the founders of the Target boycotts and the Target fasts just work together? You commented this on one of my videos. This is for you.
We asked for 4 things, and I'm grateful to God if we've got 3 of them.
Pastor Jamal Bryant posted that video the day he ended the fast. Saturday morning, he went on CNN, and this happened.
So you acknowledge now that since the video, since calling off the fast, that you've got 2 of the 4.
Yes.
Now you've got 2 of the 4.
Yes. We asked for 4 things, and I'm grateful to God if we've got 3 of them.
Now, I've been covering the Minnesota action, which is called the National Target Boycott, since it started. And when asked why the Minnesota group wouldn't work with the other groups, this is what they've said the entire time.
I was asking what communication was taking place between y'all. That's when you said you did not want to work with them. That took place in April of 2025. So what I am...
Yeah, and I told you why. I said...
No, I got you.
And you don't have integrity, Roland. And,
I got you.
And as you just saw this week, that is a clear example of them not having integrity.
So
we don't need this kind of confusion in our community. Now they're trying to save face, talking about they're still in it. We don't need you in it. Go find something else to do with your time that doesn't involve confusing Black America at a time like this. How can you stand with this man in Washington, then turn around and say, oh, I'm still boycotting. Oh, my organization. No, you made a choice, and so did we.
Let's get into more of that interview that he did with Nekima Armstrong of Minneapolis. She is actually a lawyer, y'all, and also an activist, as well as a pastor herself. Let's get into it. Love it or leave it. Here we go.
Release on January 28th of 2025 announcing the Target boycott. We listed our demands at that time and during our press conference that happened on January 30th. And as a matter of fact, 2 of our demands wound up on the targetfast.org website because of the trickery of these people involved. So that's number one.
One second. Nekima, 1 second. For the people who don't know your press release, what are those 2 demands?
Here we go.
Well, the first one is that the most obvious one is that Target reverses its decision to roll back diversity, equity, and inclusion. That should be obvious. The second demand is for Target to account for the $2.1 billion that it pledged in 2021 in the aftermath of the killing of George Floyd. Our third demand has to do with Target's involvement in increasing the incarceration rate in Hennepin County, Minnesota, leading to a young man by the name of Mahdi Ali, a young immigrant who at 16 years old wound up in prison for 2 murders he did not commit.
I want to stop it right there. You see how much money that makes sense now. When during the George Floyd situation, Target was one of those companies that stood up and came out and said they were going to pledge a certain amount of money that they had agreed to. And then they took it back as soon as Trump got in office and everybody started bending a knee to this PDF president. I said it. Let's go.
Target had contributed funds to the Hennepin County Attorney's Office, and they said, we don't just want arrests, we want convictions. And then they sent 2 forensic analysts to testify at his trial, leading to a wrongful conviction of a young man of color. This man is now over 30 years old and still in prison for murders he did not commit. Target needs to make amends for all of these things.
See, I didn't know about this particular situation with Target. So she's got boots on the ground. So she's bringing up that it's a lot more deeper than we think with what they're doing in Minneapolis, Minnesota with this protest where the whole thing started in the first place. But I played the videos a little backwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm about to move them in the order that I originally wanted to play this in. And let me make sure that I have them the way I want them. And here we go.
As well, and then of course it's spread like wildfire. I mean, Target's memo that they claim was leaked drops January 24th. January 25th, Nina Turner and her organization calls for Target to put DEI back in place, or they were going to launch their boycott on February 1st. On January 29th, you posted on Instagram about your news conference and launching the boycott on February 1st. And then, of course, you had local folks who were on the ground. You had pastors and churches. And then, of course, you had the contingent here in Washington, D.C. that was protesting every week outside of Target. So it wasn't.
And we are the ones who live in the place where Target is headquartered. Because if any of these people had the power to call and sustain a boycott, then they could have done it in their cities. When you had places like Walmart, Amazon, many other companies that rolled back DEI, and all these people were silent. In our town, when things happen, guess what? We're boots on the ground right away. We don't have to be online calling for a boycott because Target is headquartered here in Minneapolis. So that is what gives us the advantage in this conversation. But if this is a hometown company that made a specific pledge in the aftermath of George Floyd being killed,
that's true.
Who stood up and fought for George Floyd were the ones who declared that this boycott would happen. So let's not get it twisted and bring in everybody and their grandma when you know full well that Target is headquartered here. That's why Tamika, that's why Nina, that's why Jamal had to go to Washington, D.C. to call this press conference, because they're not welcomed in Minnesota after their actions.
But Nekima,
disrespectful to people
in
Minnesota
Tell them.
Who have launched and sustained this boycott along with our people around the nation. Because I got to give it up to Black folks around the nation for having self-discipline, making a conscious decision that they're not going to spend their Black dollars in Target, and calling out the BS that we all witnessed this week.
But that's my whole point.
Bryant tried to call off this boycott.
But that's my
people.
But that's my point.
Standing firm and not believing the hype from media outlets who are pretending that they don't know what the truth actually is.
But that's my point.
She made a very good point. You can see Roland's trying to get in there, but the sister's saying, nah. We gonna roll it. Hey, thank you for the super chat. Let me do this. Let me put your super chat up. I appreciate that very much. So everybody in the chat room, I thank you. Before I get out of here, I'm going to get your thoughts from the chat room. $20 super chat from Xavier 5120 saying we need less Black activists who are reactive and more co-ops that are proactive, delivering results for Black people. Brother, I agree with you. Clap to you. I agree. Let me see. We got Eyes of a Watcher saying, does it really matter if the guy is an immigrant, though? as a black immigrant was done wrong. Let me see. This is what happens when you let grifters lead. Yeah, that's true. Oh, I need to see that video. What video do you need to see? Just subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of the family over here. Natural Beauty says, call out the BS and all the frauds. Somalis. Yeah. They were running frauds in Minnesota. There's no doubt about that. I'm not going to sit up here and say that they were wrong. I just don't agree with demonizing a whole group of people for what a certain number because people did, because certainly there were about 50 or more people that were arrested and are being prosecuted. Let me see. Rumble with the GJ says she's pissed and rightfully so. As you stated earlier, don't ever piss a black woman off. Roland knows what he was doing and she served him up. Well, let's continue to see what we can hear with the serve up right now.
And I'm talking serious.
Let's go over here and go.
There are people all around the country who have participated. And so even though Target is based in Minneapolis, you've had people across the country. You've had other folks in other cities.
It's a national boycott.
Right, I understand that. That's
around the country. But don't dilute the leadership of the people on the ground in Minnesota. Because you and I had a conversation about this very thing. And I told you at the time that Jamal, Tamika, and Nina are not credible.
Okay.
That is why we're the national coalition that you wanted to form in the middle of all of this.
No, you and I had a conversation. You and I had a conversation.
Well, we had a text or email.
Right. No. No, I'm gonna say what it is.
Woo! Let's stop it right there. Woo! You see what she just did there? She called them all out. She said, hey, Roland, we had a conversation. And I told you, Roland, that Jamal Bryant and Nina Turner and Tamika Mallory are not credible. She called them out. She ain't holding back no punches. What do y'all think about that? I mean, it is what it is.
That they're not credible and they're not.
No, I'm gonna say what it is.
Hold
on, one second.
Oh.
No, I'm gonna hold up 1 second.
Look. Roland is playing. Look. Tamika, what am I doing? Sister Armstrong is playing offense. She's like, boom, she's going straight in. And Roland is like, hold on, wait, hold on, because she hitting him with so many jabs and uppercuts and left hooks of knowledge and facts about what's going on and calling out the imposters, such as the Jamal Bryants, right? The Nina Turners who runs around with Jill Stein. Jill Stein ain't good for our people, or Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders was asked a long time ago by Joe Madison. May Joe Madison rest in power. He was on the Joe Madison show and he asked Mr. Super Liberal Bernie Sanders what was his opinion on reparations, and Bernie Sanders did not want to answer. Matter of fact, he ran away from answering that question. The same Bernie Sanders who claims that he was involved in the civil rights movement. The same Bernie Sanders that doesn't have any black agenda when he's talking all the socialism talk that he talks. But yet when it comes to black people, he has no platform for us. Jill Stein, she's an operative. People say that she's an operative for Putin in Russia. That's what some people say. But man, she went in there and she struck for the jugular. Because Roland Martin, all due respect to the brother, he was like, wait. He was on the ropes like he getting ready to get knocked out of the damn ring. I gotta tell it like it is.
Nekima.
Nekima.
No. He's saying Nekima now because he's trying to get her to let him.
And trying to call for an end to the boycott. Now they're trying to save face, talking about they're still in it. We don't need you in it. Go find something else to do with your time that doesn't involve confusing Black America at a time like this.
Boom. She talking about Jamal Bryant. What's up, Jay Shine? Randoms, what's going on, my brother? The Target boycott should be permanent. Black people need to get real Let me put that up on the screen, my brother. Black people need to get what? Real, right? About wielding power, putting Target. Yeah, exactly. I agree with everything you just said. Target, let me see. Wielding power, putting Target out of business would have a stronger impact. Yes, because they lost about $12 billion or more, brother Jay Shine. And everybody say what's up to that brother. He's a big sponsor of this program. He's one of the main sponsors and benefactors behind the scenes of the Information Man show. And what you're seeing here. Thank you, brother, for coming by. But you are absolutely right. Thank you for that super chat. You are absolutely right. 110% orange juice. Correct. Let's continue with this before we get close to our conclusion. We're getting there, but I want to continue to put this content out because we got to put it in perspective. We got so many people trying to play the leader. And the thing that's sad is that it would be different if these were people who had credibility. But we got Pastor Jamal Bryant, who has no credibility. He has not a good track record of his character and how he has flaunted himself around females in his church and other things that he has engaged in that I don't appreciate. Let's continue here. And now now check this out. I did a video about this white preacher. Remember that video I did about the white preacher coming into his church and saying all kind of hellfire? Now I feel like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have came so hard on that white preacher. Maybe that white preacher was telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Maybe the white preacher that went up in his church and was talking all that hellfire. Maybe that crazy dude was telling the truth. What y'all think?
Tell the truth.
My God. Here we go. And thank you, Jay Shine.
How can you stand with this man in Washington, then turn around and say, oh, I'm still boycotting. Oh, my organization. No, you made a choice, and so did we.
So I'll say
I'm
this.
just
So
not here
again,
for any of it.
so for the
it.
purpose of the audience, when there was the meeting with Reverend Al Sharpton and the CEO of Target.
Oh God, another preacher who needs to go set himself down, which is Al Slickback Sharpton. Another one I'm sick of. Let's go.
CEO of Target, and Pastor Jamal Bryant and others in April. Then there was a whole lot of back and forth. That's when you and I talked, and I texted because one, I was asking what communication was taking place between y'all. That's when you said you did not want to work with them. That took place in April of 2025.
Right, she don't want to work with him.
Yeah, and I told you why. I said
no, I got you.
Work with them, and they don't have integrity, Roland. And as you just saw this week, that is a clear example of them not having integrity.
So I'm asking you
why would Tamika and Nina show up in Washington when this man's agenda was to call for an end to the boycott? Now they're backtracking, claiming the boycott is still on. We don't need this kind of confusion in our community. If they have all this organizing prowess that they claim, then prove it and show us what else you can do. We don't need their help with the Target boycott, obviously. And if the Target boycott wasn't successful, you wouldn't have a divide and conquer strategy where they're sitting here meeting with white leadership from Target, calling for an end to the boycott and the show for our community.
Woo!
It's a bunch of garbage.
Woo! No, wait a minute. No. Roland, I'm sorry. You keep trying to cut her off. No. She's coming with the smoke. She's coming with the truth and nothing but the truth. Oh, no. See, I thought this woman was off her rocker when she went in that church in City Church in Minneapolis. And then when I later found out that one reason why they went in that church because of what happened to a black baby, that a black family that was minding their own business going home that night, that ICE, directed by the pastor of that church, City Church in Minneapolis, was the lead agent in what happened to the black babies that night. And when I found out about that, I looked at this woman different going in there in that church. And of course, Don Lemon, he got arrested, doing his CNN thing, even though he's now not on CNN. but he claims to be independent media. He went up in there, got arrested. Everybody start rallying around Don Lemon like Don Lemon's some damn activist. Don Lemon ain't never been a damn activist. But she went in there, she got arrested, said what she had to say. And now I'm hearing her speak here, and it's giving me a different view of this young woman right here, Mrs. Armstrong, because she came on the Roland Martin show and she didn't give you the typical, talking points and the typical let's get along to get along. She went on there and called people out. Jamal Bryant, Nina Turner, and Nekima Mallory, who's been trying to maintain her relevance ever since what happened out there in Louisville. Somebody remind me, that was during the Mike Brown situation, when Mike Brown hands up Mike Brown when he lost his life. That was out there in wasn't that in St. Louis? Let me correct what I said, not Louisville, St. Louis in the Midwest. Ferguson. That's right, Ferguson. I'm trying to let it all come back to me. Ferguson. That's where we got this young lady from, out of the Ferguson situation. All these people who are trying to be de facto leaders, who are still trying to remain relevant as if they're responsible for something. And of course, Roland met with Nekima Mallory and she tried to clean up some things herself, because these people want to stay relevant in our lexicon. They want us to be able, they want to still be in a position to make us follow them. And she's calling them out.
Serious people don't do things like this.
And I'm gonna go back to the
They
original,
don't.
I'm gonna go back to the original question. You're saying the boycott is continuing. You said that. So the question is.
So in that part of the video, because I had played the second one, I played it out of order. What he was going to ask her, Roland Martin was going to ask her, what are your demands? And I played that part first, where she laid out the demands. She wants everything to be rolled back to originally what they had originally in place that was agreed upon. That came out of the George Floyd situation in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, let me play this video, because this brother's video right here kind of opened up the door to the suspicion of these so-called people who want to be leaders. Check this out right here.
So somebody notified me on Instagram that Nina Turner, let me see, Jamal Harrison, Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant, and Nekima Mallory, that they've ended the boycott with Target. And so I got this off. This is on her page. You see, this said they're on a live right now. As a matter of fact, he's up speaking. There he is. I listened in I heard each of the speakers. So Nina Turner, I heard her Nekima Mallory, some of hers. I heard some of his. And I never follow Nina Turner. I don't care what Nina Turner has to say. I'm sure Nina Turner is a nice lady. I don't know much about it. I know she got appointed to a job in Ohio once. She's run a couple of times and lost. And she's this lady, Jill Stein, Putin's puppet.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody affiliated with her has any business talking about what black people should or shouldn't do. Nobody.
Facts.
Never listen. Anybody affiliated with Jill Stein, don't listen to them. I don't care who they are. Don't listen to anybody affiliated with Jill Stein. And that includes Miss Nina Turner.
Tell the truth.
Facts.
2, don't listen to anybody affiliated with this guy.
Bernie Sanders.
That includes Miss Nina Turner. So I don't care what they're doing, because there's always something awful with it, because it's affiliated with Bernard and it's affiliated with Jill.
Tell the truth.
Facts.
So when you start talking about you reach some type of agreement with Target, more power to you. More power to you. That ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Like, I ain't going to Target. Because you say so? Because Target said, oh, yeah, we've done our commitments to the black community. We've done this, we've done that. Nah. Because black people spend hundreds of billions of dollars with you, Target. Hundreds of billions.
Right.
And 2 days after that man gets in office, you're like, I don't care about DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. I don't care about your products. I don't care about your vendors. I don't care about suppliers. I don't care about none of y'all. You were loud about that. And so now to be riding the coattails of these three, and honestly, what influence do these people have? I mean, they have more influence than I have. I'm just a nobody on the internet. But I can tell you this. You ain't influenced me to go back to Target. Your little press conference not going to do it.
That's right.
So, anyway.
If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do. Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well,
if you have 100, 1,000 plus 1,000. You see, Jamal Bryant and Black Anomalous, I saw what you wrote in the chat room. I feel the same way. Don't trust him. He's a fraud to me. Don't trust him as far as I could spit him, throw him, whatever you want to call it. This has been a man of low character. And if this is the way our preachers are going to be today, you don't need to go to church. You need to just study your Bible at home, whatever. Why go to these churches where these preachers are doing things like asking you to show proof of your tax return? I'm going to be doing that video right after this. And that'll be an uploaded video to let you see the foolishness that's going on in these churches where you've got preachers telling the congregation, I want to see your tax returns first so I can know whether you're being honest with me about how much you can tithe to the church. And yet we got a preacher that's telling black people about needing to see your tax records. A preacher asking you 1,000 plus 1,000. Yet here we are in the 21st century and we depended on businesses like Target to sell our goods or to sell us some underwear, some drawers, when we should be at a place and time where these mega churches should be pulling their resources together to create our own merchandising businesses. Since they're taking in all the money from the people. What's going on, last call? Let me do this real quick before I get out of here, everybody. Let me read your statements. And here we go. Okay, we've got Bonafide 1970 says, I was not even aware of the boycott against Target. Once I heard that they turned their backs on DEI, I stopped spending my money there. Never. Thank you. Let's go to the next person. I appreciate that. Just want to read through some of your thoughts. Natural Beauty says, so they can commit fraud with your SSI. Yeah. Committing fraud. People can do that kind of stuff. We got Sea Breezy 40 says, this is what's going to happen. Black entrepreneurs are going to begin selling their products at marketplaces and ICE will come to harass them. I can believe that. We've got Evo with the upside down American flag. What's going on? We got the eyes of the watcher who says some of those DEI programs was not really doing anything for black people to begin with. Yeah, because 4% of DEI programs benefit black people. And the majority of the people that benefit are white women. However, I still have to do that video. Do not negate the fact that about 3,000 black women lost their jobs in federal government when Trump moved into the White House and started to put his policies out. That ain't cool. Thank you for the $10 super chat from Evolman. Thank you. Great stream. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for coming over and supporting the channel. We always like to support. Black Anomalous is coming to the house, says the church used to be about helping their members, helping their community. Now the church is about business. Yeah, it's become a business. You've never lied about that. We got Jay Shine in the back of the house saying this, eyes of a watcher. All these companies were rolling back their DEI for the White House. You don't negotiate with Target. You bring their, yeah, that's a good point. Right, because it was the White House policies that made this possible. Right. And Target, like a lot of these corporations, they're trying to stay in line with the Trump administration because they want to get certain benefits out of the Trump administration. Yeah, that's true. That's what you call dirty politics, though. Jeff Watts 784 says Target is not bending the knee to none of these so-called black leaders. They're not black leaders, I would say, at all. She can be pissed, but she is a race hustler just like Jamal Bryant. Now, I don't agree with that because this is a woman that was deeply involved in the protest, in the organizing that went on in Minneapolis during the George Floyd situation. Another thing that I have to give her props on, and I said this before, is when a black child was affected by the ICE. Pepper. A black family was minding their own business and they got peppered and they got harassed by ICE. And the preacher of that city church in Minneapolis, the preacher there, or the pastor, was a member, a key member, organizing leader member of ICE that night and was out there orchestrating what they did to a black baby and a black family. And that's one of the reasons why she went in that church to raise some hell. I can respect that, because if we're going to sit up here and claim that we're about the black family, we're for black youth and black children, then we should and that family was an FBA family for those of you who push that narrative. If we're going to sit up here, we should actually respect her standing up for a family that was harassed. A baby that could have been deleted that night due to their actions by this pastor that she was protesting. That's why they went in that church in the first place. Just want to give you that backstory if you don't know that. Now, let's go up here and look at what C Breezy 40 is saying. The real issue is we Americanized African indigenous black people don't know who to trust and are too easily led astray. Interesting. Jay Shine says this. I'm going to get ready to get out of here in a moment, everybody. I appreciate your support today. It's been fantastic. Eyes of the Watcher, $2.1 billion pledge that these grifters are trying to get in their hands. Thus, the black infighting the black infighting, witnessing. Yeah, it's all crazy. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like to see black folks fighting each other, but I understand why she has a bone to pick with those three people. And hey, what's going on, Alicia? Good to see you, my sister. Thank you for coming over. Let's go with Rumble, who says this: Jamal, Mika, and Nina are Trojan horses who will sell us down a river if they could. But the backlash shows that we are self-determined. Good point. Okay, we got my man Yalpo in the house. All right there. What's up, man? What's going on, Yalpo? Okay, he says, peace, info, and family. I don't believe in boycotts. I just stop messing with it and find something else. Right. I get where you're coming from. Good, honest opinion and good, honest perspective. Thank you, Yalpo.
Tell the truth.
Black Anomalous in the house. I remember that. Let me, so everybody, I think I'm going to get on out of here. Yalpo, I know I got to do that ad. I got to do that black to Saturday morning cartoon ad for you so I can send that off to you and get myself into your animated world. Anyway, I appreciate you all for watching this video. This is not typically what I like to broadcast about, but it was something I wanted to touch on because it's a hot button issue, or it has been. Now, I'm letting you all know the video that I will upload to you next will be about this preacher that I was telling you all that had the audacity to demand to see the members of his church tax documents because he's claiming you guys are not being honest about how much money you making because I'm not getting enough tithing from you. Wait, and that's going to be a short video, straight to the point. I'm going to play it, give my commentary, and then I expect all of you who follow this channel and love this channel to give your harsh critique and criticism and analysis of what I'm about to show you. I'm about to record that video, if not today, tomorrow, and drop it for y'all to see that video. With that said, everybody, I really appreciate you coming over. Thank you for the super chats. What's going on? Thank you for addressing this. Yeah, thank you. Amazing. For coming over. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell notification. But I want to say thank you, my sister, for coming over and enjoying the podcast. I do have problems with Jamal Bryant. I have problems with him. And, maybe, just maybe, and thank you, sister. Thank you. Look, maybe Pastor Jamal Bryant, look, I hope he has a fruitful marriage and relationship. We know he's got a bad track record when it comes to women. Hopefully this all will work out for him. That's the dress that made headlines all around the world with him and his wife. I hope that his marriage is fruitful for him, but I just don't see Pastor Jamal Bryant or Dr. Jamal Bryant as a de facto leader that should be talking for black people as the lead man, because he's just not got great character. He's not a Dr. King. He's not a Malcolm X. He's not a anything of the past. And I'm not saying that everybody's perfect. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect as people. We can all make mistakes. But Jamal Bryant has too many, what can I say? He has too much of a track record. The reason why I'm coming down heavy on Jamal Bryant, because he has a long track record of doing goofy, bumbling stuff like this. Or at least a track record of questionable character. What do you all think? What do you all believe? Let me know. Leave comments and all that good stuff in the chat. In the comment section of this video. With that said, everybody, you have a great evening. Tell someone that you love them. Thank you for giving this channel, blessing this channel with your presence, with your views. Do me the biggest favor, because you will be blessing this channel even more by sharing this video with either in your social media, with your friends or family that would be interested in this content, because you know how it is on YouTube. When it comes to black content creators, they suppress a lot of our videos, right? You may have numbers on your channel, but they'll make sure that your video doesn't get to those people that are even subscribed to your channel. How many times have I said, and you guys have told me, hey, info, I didn't get a notification, because YouTube don't like to see us putting out content that puts people on Front Street and really opens up the door. Another thing that I want to do a video on that I've been thinking about is these data centers. We got these data centers in America where Elon Musk has moved data centers into black communities like South Memphis, where black people are getting what? Environmental racism. They're getting cancers and they're getting sick. They're saying now that these data centers are taking up so much water, even in Texas, that some of these cities, like in Texas, their clean water is going to get dried up because of these damn AI data centers. That's something I'm going to look into and may do a small little story about, or maybe a YouTube short or something. But with that said, everybody, y'all take care. Peace.
What you want, I'ma give it to you.
Thank you.
I'ma give it to you.
It's that smile.
Lord knows I ain't seen that in a while, but it's your style. So something must be up keeping you down. You a queen that must be heaven sent. Pray my soul, I must repent for not telling you what I meant and how I felt.
BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. Download today. BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts.
She my medical, she like my baby mama, know how to Give my baby problems, you gon' regret
Tell the truth.
everything. So I let her know, gotta let her know. Came through the front door, I'll be ready for it. And if it's what you want, I'ma give it to you. Yeah, promise, I'ma give it to you. La, 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 la. Feel it, baby, stress is all around us. These high ceilings and I need it, baby. Pressure and make diamonds, I won't steal it, baby. Silent, baby, hurts to see you crying. Know you trying, ain't no lying, baby. When I say I need you, greedy if I have to share you. It was me that all along did you wrong, thinking that I made you beautiful and strong. This toxicity, the death of me, I fear the day you gone. The most beautiful girl I've ever known. I'll find a way to treat you better. I swear there's no one out there like you.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
I'll fly you to the moon and hope I'll see you soon. I'll find a way to treat you better. No problem, I'll do whatever. Let her know, I gotta let her know that she my white horse, she my medical. She like my baby mama, know how to take care of me. Give my baby problems, you gon' regret everything. So I let her know, gotta let her know. Came through the front door, I'll be ready for it. And if it's what you want, I'ma give it to you. Yeah, promise, I'ma give it to you. La 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 la. Da 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 da. La 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 la
Information is power.
Tell the truth.